So, ladies, tell me a little bit about this project of yours. It sounds absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, the project's called A Nightmare Wakes, and it is a story about Mary Shelley, but as told through her own novel, Frankenstein. And it's excellently portrayed by the incredible Alix Regan.
Thank you very much. And Nora Unkel is the amazing writer, director, and a producer on the film as well.
Wow. And tell me a little bit about your role. See, Gus is really interested. He's really interested in it too. See, Gus, I said hi.
So I play Mary Shelley during the time that she was writing Frankenstein, effectively, her most famous novel, arguably, and the novel that launched the science fiction genre. And it's kind of about how Nora pieced together, you know, factually accurate elements of Mary's life to depict how Mary potentially, quite possibly, yes, came up with Frankenstein on the whole, you know.
Oh, wow. That sounds incredible. What was the biggest challenge about doing that? Playing the role, I mean.
The biggest challenge about playing Mary was probably that there was so much darkness and pain in her life, you know, that was really fun to play as an actress and connect with that. But obviously there was a genuine tragedy about what we were shooting, and that was never lost on me, that this stuff, a lot of the stuff in the film really did happen to her. And that's just sad. You know, she had a deeply, deeply tragic life, fascinating life, you know, and an incredible life for an artist. And you can see how her life informed her art and her art also informed her life. But it's, yeah, she's a kind of tragic, iconic British literary heroine is how I describe her.
Nora, what about you?
You know, I think the hardest part was really kind of convincing people that Mary should be taking the forefront of her own story. We got a lot of pushback throughout the process of trying to get this financed, trying to get this created, with people being like, well, why don't you write it from like Percy's perspective? Or why don't you do, I'm not even kidding. That was legitimately told to me multiple times in meetings.
Write the story.
Exactly.
People saying this. But yeah, and there was other iterations of like, well, why don't you just do another adaptation of Frankenstein? You know, so there was a lot of pushback in those realms where, for me, I always knew that this was going to be a story that was ideally honoring Mary and showcasing her as her own talented artist and woman and survivor of some of the most tragic things that one can survive. And I wanted to make a movie that was finally going to do her justice.
And you did.
Absolutely. And that's what I like about it. It's from, you know, the woman's point of view and everything that was going on with her. And you did such an incredible job. And what would you say was the most rewarding part about this from both of you?
Ooh.
Mary Shelley. So I had a great time. Yeah, the most rewarding part was that I literally got to play an incredible woman, you know, who really lived and is not just, you know, is obviously an iconic writer globally, but also this kind of incredible legend of literature and, you know, a British feminist. And, you know, I'm a British feminist. So there was a lot of like resonance there, and it was beautiful to be offered, you know, the lead role on the project and be asked to kind of take the reins in that direction, to have that trust. I felt very privileged, and I loved every moment of the project. I truly did.
For me, I think, you know, I wrote this when I was 20 years old, only like a year older than Mary wrote Frankenstein, and so I kind of always felt very emotionally connected to her and her experience. And so some of the things that I have written in here about kind of this descent, as some people call it, descent into madness, I see as kind of the creative experience of writing. And so for me, I was writing a lot of these moments that I was almost experiencing as I was writing the script into Mary's writing of Frankenstein. And so I remember the moment walking onto set and walking into Mary's bedroom for the first time, which also doubled as the set for Frankenstein's lab. And I saw the lab for the first time, and Julian walks in as Victor and Alix walks in as Mary, just to kind of check it out. And for the first time, these hallucinations that I've been having for so long were actually real, and they were in front of me, and I could actually, you know, touch the desk and see the body. And oh my gosh, I wasn't crazy anymore. So I think that was a really rewarding moment for me.
Nice. And you, like I said, you ladies are doing such a great job with this. How do you think other women watching are going to react to it, especially since you said Mary was a feminist?
I think the female reaction to the film's been extraordinary, actually, and probably much more in line with what we as artists and creatives had envisaged, for the project as well. It's been really interesting watching the different reactions, generally speaking, between men and women. Obviously, these are big, broad brushstrokes that I'm talking in now, but there are differences of reaction. And I feel that women are kind of uncovering and discovering so many more layers than perhaps men are on a first reading, first watch, effectively. But then also what's been really touching is the amount of people that have gone back and watched it a second time or a third time and started to piece together different elements of the film and gone, oh, so okay, so she's that, and that, oh, that image relates back to that plot point, and oh, this relates to that. And I found that incredibly gratifying to see that people really are interested in digging deeper and deeper into the film. So that's been a beautiful thing to see.
There's been some people saying, which I think is completely accurate, where they're like, this film does not hold your hand. It does not guide you into this world. It kind of throws you into it. It says, sink or drown, you know, enjoy. And yeah, at the end of the day, like, I'm so happy to see a lot of these male viewers and people that are coming in and actually who are seeing it, are feeling it, are understanding the depths of kind of the layers, like Alix was just saying. But at the end of the day, I made this for women. I made this to give a heroine to modern girls, and to kind of, again, take Mary out of the shadows of her own monster and allow her to be her own iconic figure herself. So I've been so happy to see that, you know, a lot of women are kind of connecting to that and connecting to her story, and ideally, you know, wanting to know more about her and wanting to be encouraged by her.
I love it. Go ahead, Alix.
No, I was just going to say, building on what Nora said, I think that the other thing that's been really interesting to watch is how many men and women, after watching the film, go and research Mary's life and realize how many elements of the film are true to Mary's life and came into the story and the plot of A Nightmare Wakes, you know, which then encourages people to think more about women writers in general, women artists, and, you know, women, how do they juggle like their art, their creativity, and their home life, you know, of being a mum, being a wife, so on and so forth, potentially having a jealous lover, you know, all of these competing elements that come into women's lives that we so don't get shown 95% of the time. You know, and Nora's written an entire fucking film about it, pardon my French. And people
we're all grown-ups here.
So, you know, so yeah.
That is amazing. And I like how you said, you know, the balancing act. How do you ladies balance it all?
I don't. I'm chronically late. So I really don't. I'm chronically late. And I've tried to be less of a perfectionist. There you go. That's how I try to balance it all. I try to be less of a perfectionist constantly. What about you, Nora?
Well, I'm lucky. I'm not really balancing, you know, children or you know, a cheating husband or anything right now. Not that those are bad things. Well, cheating husband is bad. The children, that's lovely. But I have a wonderful fur baby myself. Her name's Scarlett, and she's kind of how I balance my life is whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, whenever it's too much, or whenever, you know, another bad review comes in or something, I just go over and just bury my head into her ears and just kind of hide into the fur mass.
No bad.
What kind of fur baby is she?
No bad reviews, just misguided. No bad.
There we go. I like that. Misguided. She's like a little schnauzer mix. She's just a little mutt that looks kind of like Tramp from Lady and the Tramp.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What about you, Alix? Any fur babies for you or human babies?
No fur babies or real babies yet. No. So it was very sad. Like my partner's desperate for a dog. He's completely dog mad. And I keep delaying it because he specifically wants a Rhodesian Ridgeback, which is a breed of dog that is built to defend you from lions in South Africa. And as I keep reminding him, we do not live in South Africa, nor do we live around a pack of lions. We live in London. So, you know, and it's the only dog he wants. I'm sure
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I'm sure one day he'll get his way.
Yeah. But if you're in London, you should get a corgi because that's what the Queen has.
I was about to say.
Many corgis. That's true.
I used to have one and I loved him so much. His name was Zach and he was just the best little dog ever.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So cute.
He was the best. He was the best. But one thing I like to ask the people I interview is tell each of you, I want you to tell me a fun, surprising fact about yourself.
Mm.
That's right. Nora, you go first.
Why'd you do that?
Because I can't think of anything.
No, I'm trying to think, like what's fun about me? That isn't obvious. I don't know if this is fun or if this makes me just really lame, but like I am a huge simmer. I play Sims. It's how I collect my mind and direct when I can't be directing on set.
That's cute. I like that. I haven't played that in a very long time.
Probably because you're not 8 years old and it's reasonable, you know?
I went through a stage in lockdown of obsessively trying to complete Rubik's cubes, and I got very obsessed with it. I know.
Did you do it?
No, I'm on the last stage. It's really annoying. I have one more layer to go. And as long as, look, in the UK, we're going to be in lockdown till at least 2024. Okay.
Oh,
I have time, but so Rubik's cubes.
You'll
nice.
have time to make enough that you can just like build a wall, you know, like.
I remember hearing a story once where a little boy said he did it and he showed his father. And his father's like, oh my God, my kid's a genius. Show me how you did it. And the kid was just peeling the stickers off and then just placing.
I love that. That's what I should do. Why didn't I do that? And then I could have brought on my Rubik's Cube and you guys were like, my God, you're so smart. I was like, I know.
Well, now you know. Yeah. And since you all shared a fun fact, I'll share one of mine. Please. When I was 3 years old, my mom took me to a Harlem Globetrotter game. And after it was over, I told everybody I was going to be a Harlem Globetrotter.
Oh.
And for 3 weeks, I decided I was obsessed with it. And I was like, but it never happened.
You can do it, Sammi. Don't let anyone tell you no. You can do it, okay?
I'm going to do it. It's
never too late. You go.
Yes, I will do it. And since we're a TV site, what are you watching on TV these days?
My like pulp enjoyment right now is Bridgerton. I'm just enjoying it so much because again, it's this like, yes, let's have diversity in period pieces and let's have like sex scenes that are more from the female perspective. Give me more of this, please. So
Bridgerton is next on my list. So I'm
glad. Mine too, yeah.
Actually, it's literally next on my list. I just finished the 4th and final season of Call My Agent on Netflix, which I loved. It's a hilarious French show about agents working in Paris. It's very, very funny, very clever. And every episode, they just have like a bigger and bigger and bigger star. I mean, they have like Monica Bellucci, Isabelle Huppert, Jean Reno. So that was an incredible force. Like, if you haven't done it, go and do Call My Agent. It's brilliant. And the other thing that I just finished watching is a Channel 4 comedy drama called It's a Sin, about the AIDS epidemic in the 80s and 90s and the LGBTQIA community over in the UK, pretty much. Like, they talk about America and San Francisco and New York and stuff, but it's really set, you know, in and around London. It was just kind of, it's a brilliantly written, really important, really heartbreaking, but also really uplifting show to watch. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to add that too. That sounds really interesting. I'm gonna have to add that as well.
Thanks for the list.
Yes. And where can we find you ladies on social media?
I'm just at Alix Witon Regan, which is my name. Alix with an I. Alix Witon Regan.
Okay.
I'm also rather simple, at Nora Unkel. Uncle spelled phonetically and not like your aunt and uncle.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you ladies for taking the time today. You're both amazing women, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next.
Thank you so much, Sammi. Lovely to meet you.
Really. Lovely to meet you too. Thank you, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye.